Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the CanUK podcast, the podcast, the podcast done by fans for fans of everything nerdy. And yes, we're here celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Because...
Can you guess who it is yet?
Yes, can you? Because on February the 4th, 2013, the very first episode was released. And joining me today, he is the man who put the UK in CanUK.
Hello, kiddos. JesterCarr, 13 here.
Welcome back to the show, Jester. It's been a while.
I know, it really has been a while. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, no problem. Granted, I've been trying to get you back for like 30 episodes.
Really have, and I can only apologise. It's just, timing is just a terrible thing. It's the time zones mainly that screw us over.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, you're back, and we've got a full show for everybody today.
That's my excitement at the beginning.
Yes, because just like the original episode...
Is indeed.
We've got a lot to go over, including the games of February.
Indeed, oh God, so many. Just like the first time. Memories.
Yeah. Remember the month that followed?
No, God, do I? that was rough. That was a little bit rough. Getting through that one.
Yep. And it looks like next month is going to be about the same thing.
Oof.
But anyways, yes, I guess we should just dive straight into things.
Indeed we should, yes.
Alright, so the games of February. First off, releasing on the 4th, today in fact, are Earth Defense Force 2025 for the Xbox 360 and PS3. Fable Anniversary for the Xbox 360.
A lot of fans looking forward to that one.
I believe there's a collection out as well, including the Anniversary 2 and 3.
Indeed, so we hear, yeah.
Okay, the Lego Movie video game for Windows, PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, and Xbox One.
Just what we need. Another Lego game.
Okay, we do. They're pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I'm being unfair there. They're pretty good.
The Wolf Among Us, Episode 2, Smoke and Mirrors for Windows, Mac, and PSN.
I'll be going and downloading that when we're done.
I'll probably be playing it once we're done. Outlast for PS4, which
Fantastic
is
game.
Free for PlayStation Plus members.
Damn you.
And I believe, Jester, you've got a new series going up with that.
I have a series going on with Outlast. It's an experience, and believe me, watching me go through it, I hope, will be just as big an experience.
The first episode sure was.
Yeah.
And finally on the 4th, we have Dust Force coming out for PS3 and the PlayStation Vita. So,
Indeed we do.
So yeah, full...
Moving. Well, is that anything to do... I'm just random thought occurring. Is that anything to do with Dust? The game Dust?
No.
I didn't think so.
Completely different game. I believe you play as one of 3 or 4 different janitors, and you're cleaning up the world, basically.
Not what I thought it was going to be, but okay. I like it. I like that idea.
I haven't played it myself yet. I think I own it on Steam, but yeah.
Oh, so it's already out on Steam. PC guys, lucky as ever. But it's coming out soon for the PS boys.
It's out now.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, no, good point today, yeah, sorry, of course.
Alright, moving on to the 5th, we have The Wolf Among Us again, coming out for Xbox Live.
Always that one step behind.
Well, granted, I think the first episode released on Xbox Live, Windows, and Mac first, and then came out on PSN later.
That would make sense, given the relationship between PC and Mac, obviously.
Alright, moving on to the 6th, we have another game re-releasing, and that's Double Dragon Neon for Windows. And
It's an experience. It's a camp experience, but it's an experience nonetheless.
Yeah, it's basically the original Double Dragon, but filled with a lot of 80s stuff.
Oh yes.
If that's your kind of thing, dive into that. I believe PlayStation Plus, yeah, not that I do believe, I know PlayStation Plus users got a while ago. And it was alright from my experience. Not my sort of thing, though.
Well, it looks entertaining enough, but it's not something I'd play either, to be honest.
Maybe if it went cheap enough, pick it up.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
Which, granted, it's on Windows and I'm assuming Steam, so Steam sale at some point.
Steam usually have that kind of thing pretty cheap, yeah.
Alright, moving on to the 7th, we have Bravely Default coming out on the 3DS, which is the spiritual sequel to the Four Heroes of Light.
I've never heard of Four Heroes of Light, or I've heard a lot about it recently with Bravely Default coming out, but Bravely Default has been getting a lot of very, very good reviews and attention.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see what it's like when I actually get my hands on it.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get my copy on Friday. From what I know, it's classic Final Fantasy at its best, but removing a lot of those annoying tropes from RPG games, such as there is the ability to turn off random encounters. So
yes, that seems to be a very big selling point for a lot of people. I don't blame them.
No, no. Alright, moving on to the 11th, we can take the other turn for Final Fantasy games. When Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13 comes out for PS3 and Xbox 360. Because this is the Final Fantasy game that I don't think anybody wanted.
Probably not. I mean, but I've mentioned this before on previous podcasts when we've talked about Final Fantasy. I have not enjoyed one since number 9, so I'm kind of biased, but yeah, definitely. not looking forward to it.
Yeah. I played the demo. The combat's alright. It feels a little bit more of an action game than an RPG, so that might help it.
Well, people always get on me about number 9 because it's sort of like that, air quotes, easy turn-based system, but that's what Final Fantasy is. So, you know, it's just it's all a matter of taste. But it's not so much that I'm not looking forward to it. Like I don't want it to come out. It's just I just don't care. I could not care less.
Me neither. I'll probably wait and pick it up maybe when it hits $20, like I did with 13-2, which
I'll be waiting a lot longer than that, but okay.
Okay, moving on. We have excuse me. We have Tukiden: The Age of Demons coming out for PlayStation Vita and PSP, amazingly enough.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, another Vita game. That's a good thing. From what I've...
Vita definitely needs to love it. It's a decent little system.
Oh, it's a great system. Yeah, I've seen a little bit on this. It seems interesting.
Well, I like the demons. I must admit I've not seen much about this game.
I think it's kind of in the vein of Monster Hunter, that sort of deal, but...
Oh, well, that could be good. Oh, I will look into that one a bit more then.
And finally on the 11th, we have One Piece Romance Dawn for the 3DS.
Now, I always worry when I hear there's a game coming out for an anime. Because anime is good. I like One Piece. One Piece is a good anime. But games that come out about anime is not always the best thing.
No, 9 times out of 10, they're not. Not since, like, the original Budokai games.
Yes. Oh, yes. They were good.
I haven't seen much about this one, so I'm not sure if it's another fighting game or if it's an RPG or what.
3DS, I'd imagine it's probably got elements of both. Probably more so RPG. My personal expectations, anyway.
All right. Moving on to the 14th is a game that I'm actually kind of excited about. I might pick it up, and that's... I'm going to screw this name up so fucking bad. Danganronpa?
I'm going to give it a crack.
Okay.
Danganronpa.
Trigger Happy Havoc.
Yeah, okay. Trigger Happy Havoc. Let's just call it that. Trigger Happy Havoc.
Yeah, coming up for the PlayStation Vita, and it's also based off a popular anime series, from what I know.
Oh.
Or it was a game that got an anime series, or vice versa, I can't remember. And as far as gameplay goes, I believe it's something akin to Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward, or the Ace Attorney series. The visual novel type style games.
Oh, I see what you mean. So, okay. Oh, I've not played a game like that in a long time. Might have to look into that one as well then.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving onwards, on the 18th, I don't know why this game is repeated twice, but Earth Defense Force 2025 for the PS3 and Xbox 360. There's something weird going on there. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Well, like harking back to days I remember, may also be because of releases in different areas, maybe.
Oh,
maybe
sure.
we've had a bit of a mix-up in our notes.
Oh, true.
Perhaps.
But more importantly, on the 18th, we have Rayman Legends now releasing for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
I always question whether this is necessary to release a game that's already been out for a while, regardless of how successful it was on the new generation, just because they can.
No. Well, Rayman though is an easy one to upscale and whatnot.
Well, yeah, but I always question whether it was really necessary. It's certain sensibilities of mine just thinking, money-grabbing whores.
that could be it. I mean, they did say that Rayman Legends, I think, didn't do as well.
This is true. But it did do fairly well, considering.
Yeah, true. I'm thinking about picking it up because I missed it the first time around.
Yeah.
I didn't pick it up, so...
Well, I suppose there's an element of that. People who didn't get it the first time around. If they want it now, why not go for the... If you can, why not go for the better option? Fair play.
Yeah. Plus, I think that would be a fun game to do some live streaming of.
Oh, yeah, of course. Fair shout there.
Okay, moving on to the 21st, we actually have a Wii U game. And that's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze releasing.
Oh, why? Why? Just why? That's how they should pronounce it. Why you?
Granted, I'm sure this is going to be a fantastic game. The Donkey Kong.
Oh, well, Donkey Kong, of course.
And don't forget that massive selling point. Motherfucking Cranky Kong is a playable character.
No way.
I'm still not going to get over fucking Nintendo at the VGAs or that. Coming there with a big new announcement. Cranky Kong's a playable character. Thanks, fucking
wow.
Nintendo. Yeah.
Why you?
I'm sure it's gonna be great, and Israel, who's on the podcast fairly often, I believe he's picking it up, so we'll find out from him how good it is. Alright, so moving on to the 25th, we actually have a fair few games here coming out. First off is Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 for Windows, PS3, and the Xbox 360. Wait a month and it'll probably be coming out for the Xbox One and PS4.
Oh, yeah. Just give you that month for everybody else to buy it first. Although, no, in this respect, this is a case for people who haven't already got the next gen. Keep up a little bit.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right. Money grabbing horse. Sorry, I've got something in my throat.
I'm actually looking forward to this one because I really enjoyed the first Lords of Shadow.
Never played it. I can honestly say I've not played it, so I don't know.
Next time you see it go on sale on Steam, pick it up.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely look at it.
Because it is an excellent game. Kind of slow to start and maybe a little bit longer than it should be, and which I've heard that the second one's longer than the first one, so God only knows how that's going to work out.
Yeah, you're not really giving this a shining recommendation here.
But, there's a but. The story was fantastic in that first game. Absolutely loved it.
Actually, that is the most important thing in a game from my perspective, so you've just earned it some more points. Well done, X.
Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, that's coming out. Next up, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare for the Xbox One and Xbox 360.
I'm looking forward to this. These are good games.
And I'm pretty sure they have said it's releasing on Windows and PS4 later on as well. And I mean, this is Team Fortress 2 with Plants vs. Zombies characters. you can't go wrong there.
No, you can't, no. You just can't, no.
Next up, we have Tales of Symphonia Chronicles for the PS3. Another HD remastered game. I believe there's 2 games in this collection. I can't remember which 2. I know Tales of Symphonia, and there's one other one as well.
So is Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, is that the one title, or is the Chronicles referring to them both being in the same box set.
Same box set.
Very cool.
Actually looking forward to that. The Tales games are really good, so
I'll look into them.
Still need to finish some of them, but
I'm guessing from the sound of it, it's a JRPG or similar?
Oh yeah. Pure on JRPG.
Now you are our expert on JRPGs, so I'm deferring to your expert opinion. I will have to look into this.
So yeah, I'm just taking a quick little look here. Tales of Symphonia and the 2008 sequel, Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. So yeah.
Dawn of the New World. How dramatic.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. Good, sir.
And finally, on the 25th, we actually have this is actually our first new next-gen game, even though it is releasing on, current gen, previous gen as well.
Well, yeah, how would you call that? Because we do still call it new gen, don't we?
Yeah.
So does that make the old gen or current gen?
Either way.
Either way, yeah.
It's Thief for Windows, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One.
Indeed.
No Wii U.
No Wii U. Why you? I'm actually looking forward to this game. Very much so.
It has got a bit of my interest. I want to see reviews, though, before I pick it up.
Always a clever thing to do.
All right, and on the final day of the month, on the 28th, we have Divinity Original Sin coming out for Windows.
Quite oxymoron-ish. I like it.
We have Professor Layton and the Arzan Legacy coming out for the 3DS, which I believe is the final game in the prequel series for Professor Layton.
You know, I can honestly say I'll be buying this one, but not for the reasons people might expect. It's a gift from my mother.
Wait, did you get a 3DS after?
No, not personally, but I do use my mother's.
Oh, okay.
we timeshare. So I'll be getting that for me, ma'am.
Cool beans. And finally, another HD re-release. I believe the probably about the fourth or fifth time this one's been re-released at this point. That's Resident Evil 4 Ultimate HD Edition coming out on Windows.
I can't make my mind up whether they're just plugging the depths for money or if they're on some level catering to actual fan needs or not. I can't make my mind up because it's kind of an element of both.
True, it's probably Capcom going, okay, we fucked up. Here, have Resident Evil 4 again. Have the good one.
Oh boy.
Just forget about 6. That didn't happen.
This is an argument I'm not in agreement with. I thought 6 was better than 5 at least. I did not like 5.
I managed to play through 5. I still haven't managed to put myself through 6 yet.
Well.
I started with a good campaign too, Leon's. So.
Well, yeah, Leon's is the better campaign, yeah.
All right, so that is the games of February. So out of what we just talked about, anything that's really high on your list for this month, Jester?
Well, yeah, obviously The Wolf Among Us Episode 2 is definitely, like I said, I'm going to be downloading that as soon as we're done here because I forgot it was out today. But I'll be definitely downloading that because it's going to be the continuation of a current series I've got going. I release my Wolf Among Us videos on Thursdays, my Telltale Thursdays as they've become now. Other than that, there's nothing specific that really leaps out at me. There'll be things I'll look into, things I'll try. Plants vs. Zombies I'll try just for like personal fun. Most of the things, though, I'll probably wait until that's out on PC, though. But no, it's pretty much just The Wolf Among Us for me, but I'm one of those people who's very picky about the games he plays. So I'm possibly not the best person to use as an example for, what's this guy playing? So, you know. And yourself?
Well, The Wolf Among Us for me as well. I'll probably be diving into that as soon as I have the podcast edited. Well, Bravery Default. That's the only game on this list that I actually have pre-ordered, so outside of that, maybe.
You usually have a lot of pre-orders, man.
Well, next month I have 3, so.
Okay. There we go.
I've got to save money this month. Maybe trigger Happy Havoc, since it is by my favorite publisher / developer, so. Outside of that, Rayman is a possible, and Tales of Symphonia is a possible as well. Like, I mean, I'm going to pick up those 2 games eventually. Whether or not I do it this month is a big maybe.
That's a huge factor, especially these days, with money being what it is for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a question of whether people buy it straight away or wait for a little while. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that.
All right, so that does it for the games of February, and well, I'll probably be playing Outlast as well.
Such a good game. Tell you what. Lord X. Brilliant idea.
Oh?
Live stream it.
That's not a bad idea. I might do that.
God, I will watch that repeatedly. I know that's not the point of live streaming, but I will still watch it repeatedly.
It'll probably be 5 minutes long, me going, nope, fuck this, going on. Oh, man.
It's such a good game.
Alright, so let's dive into our news stories. And this week we actually got 2 weeks of news here, our stories from the last 2 weeks, because fortunately there wasn't a show last week, or even one-man show, which kind of broke the, non-stop weekly record that was going.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
No one's flawless.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's dive into the gaming news, and Jester, since you're back, why didn't you do the first story? And I just spilled my water everywhere.
No technical difficulties, speech difficulties apparently as well.
Great. Go onwards.
Onwards and upwards. News story number 1. Taking this from an article on IGN. Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us, it has been revealed to us that they are going to be unlikely to occur, or be released rather, in 2014.
No!
It's very disappointing, because Naughty Dog are one of those, I've said it repeated times on my own channel, and when I was still doing the podcast with you guys previously, Naughty Dog, easily one of my favourite developers. I very much look forward to getting anything they release ever, because you just know it's going to be good. So this has been quite disappointing to hear that we're not going to be getting anything this year. Besides DLC for The Last of Us.
Which comes out very soon.
Very soon. There's little side notes to this story as well, however, because obviously Last of Us Game of the Year edition, you assume that means The Last of Us plus all DLC being released. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there's been some interesting debates occurring online that kind of connected to this story in what the DLC involved will actually be. And this goes towards, I'm going to say this. It surprises me that we're not going to see this in 2014. Because we've already had one DLC, the multiplayer one, and we've been told from the get-go that we're only going to have 3 DLC. And that 2, and that 2 were going to be multiplayer and 1 was going to be single player. We've known this for a long time, and yet still people seem to be surprised that now this new DLC with Ellie and Riley has been revealed, and they've told us this is going to be your only single player DLC. And everybody seems to be surprised by this. We were told from the get.
Yeah.
But it does surprise me that we're not going to be seeing the Game of the Year edition this year, given the fact that we're pretty much... that I would be surprised if the final DLC wasn't out before the summertime. Given that's a lot of people spend a lot of their free time playing.
Yeah, because the multiplayer was actually pretty good in that game.
It really was.
That's Naughty Dog for you, just like surprising you for that.
Yeah, I mean, I still love them to bits, but they confuse me with this.
And, well, as far as Uncharted 4 goes, I didn't expect it this year anyway. Maybe we get a new trailer at E3 or the Video Game Awards.
Yeah. This isn't, like you say, it's not really surprising, no.
Alright, so moving on with our next story. It came out this past week that the ESRB has given The Elder Scrolls Online an M rating. whereas Bethesda was initially expecting a T rating.
They're giving it an M rating for mature, aren't they?
Yep.
Now you see, this differs to us over here in the UK, in the UK, whereas where you are going to be getting the mature rating because that's how it works for you guys over there.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we still have the ESRB symbol and the M coming up on the cover of the box, but we have our own rating system that applies to games as well.
Yes.
It's long before the ESRB was first introduced over there in 1994. Mm-hmm. We've always had the same age rating for pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be surprised if we have anything beyond a 15 slapped on this thing. So it surprises me that over there for you guys, because you guys historically, the Northern America, which I'm including Canada as for the sake of this argument, you guys have been so much more, in your media, you've been so much more accepting of violence,
mm-hmm.
whereas over here we are stereotypically a lot more accepting of more sexual content. And there's been in some news recently how that seems to be topsy-turvied for us, and now we're suddenly hearing it's going to be topsy-turvied for you as well, and this really surprises me.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. The M for mature rating, the game ended up getting means that it's recommended for 17 or older.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think they actually say why it got the rating, though.
I have my theories. Very dumb theories. Theories nonetheless.
Yeah. I think that's probably doing with the fact that it is online and whatnot, so that could be.
Yeah. That's a fair shout.
Yeah, if people want to know, they can probably look it up somewhere. It's not in the article here from what I can see anyway.
Well, playing on what you just said, it's like a lot of games that have an online capability, they always have that disclaimer at the beginning, don't they? That
mm-hmm.
online interactions are not rated.
Yep.
But I suppose given the high profile of the Elder Scrolls series, and knowing that there are young teens that do get this game, and are allowed to get this game in other iterations of the series anyway, mm-hmm. they're going to be exposed to a lot of this kind of thing, and given a lot of the internet culture, the modding culture, and
mm-hmm.
the fanfic culture, there's a lot of potential that there's going to be some things maybe you should have a mature rating are going to be introduced into the game just by the players alone.
Yeah, no kidding. Think about all those mods for like Skyrim.
Nah, yeah. Well, just to name a few. A good friend of ours, Dr. Lech.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a series on Skyrim going recently, in which the teaser intro that he had for it included said such mods.
Yeah, that it did.
Yeah, the game that he's playing probably does still. He's just not had a chance to showcase it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go.
All right, so you've got our next story here.
Indeed, yes. Now, this one's not particularly surprising. We've heard rumblings about this for a good long while now. Disney has abandoned the trademark for Star Wars 1313.
No!
I know, and this is actually very upsetting, I have to say, because it looked so promising. It looked like Uncharted in space.
Mm-hmm. Starring Boba Fett.
Yeah. It's just a promise. It's just such a promising combination of things.
Mm-hmm.
But we've heard rumblings for a good long time, ever since LucasArts or Lucasfilms was bought out?
Oh, LucasArts.
LucasArts, yeah. We've heard rumblings
Arts and film.
Yeah, well, that's true. Much the same thing, yeah. But we've heard rumblings that 1313 wasn't going to be happening for a long time, so it's not so much a surprise, but it is so very disappointing.
It's like the final nail in the coffin, pretty much.
Yeah, this is like the yeah, you're exactly right. Final nail in the coffin, we're definitely not getting it. So, it's disappointing, but I can't say I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, it probably would have went to EA anyway, so they fucked it up. It would have been released and, not actually finished until like 4 months later on.
That's fair play. So I suppose you're saying it's better to have expected and lost than to have had EA?
Yeah, essentially,
okay.
Yes.
I can agree with that.
Oh boy. Alright, well, our next news story here is a bit more surprising, especially from who it's coming from. It came out on January 31st that, OUYA, as everybody know, the president of Nintendo.
Hmm?
Yeah, President Satoru Iwata. Jeez, I can't pronounce his name now. Of Nintendo is saying that they are considering mergers and acquisitions. So yeah, after dramatically cutting fiscal year sales forecast, they said that Nintendo is looking for new areas of sales, marketing, and customers. So yeah, a quote from Iwata says, like, we should abandon old assumptions about our business. We are considering mergers and acquisitions as an option. For this reason, we'll step up share buybacks.
Now, I'm guessing this is in relation to like movie rights and that kind of thing. Maybe not exactly that, but that kind of area.
I think so, yeah. From what I've heard, they're considering like mobile games and stuff like that now. So basically, it's Nintendo finally starting to wake up and realize, hey, look, the internet exists.
That's a very good point. Now, you see, me, when I was reading this, I kind of had this other image in my head kind of going. It was like Nintendo were realizing they can no longer compete on a solely gaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
They're learning that they need to branch out into other areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either.
So we could see, well, let's call it what it is. We could see an almost Marvel-esque kind of expansion into other mediums.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marvel is so famous for their comics and books, and then they were doing so many games with third parties, but still, they were still involved. And then all the films suddenly massively out there. So, you know, the Marvel company has branched out into so many sub-pockets that have hands in nearly everything. I can see Nintendo, maybe that's what they're trying to go for.
Maybe, yeah. And, well, they do say, like, mergers and acquisitions, so maybe they're thinking about, like, buying some other companies to bring in. I mean, think about if they bought, like, Sega, or, hell, even, like, Capcom.
Wow, would they be able to do that? I mean, well, obviously they would be able to do that on a purely on the face of it kind of thing, but I wonder if those companies would allow that. Yeah. And if they did, would that mean we'd be seeing Capcom et al. Become first-party creators for Nintendo alone?
Yeah.
That would be scary. Never to have another Capcom game on any other platform.
Scary, but in a way, almost smart for Nintendo, though.
Smart for Nintendo. Very smart for Nintendo. Not so sure it's very smart for Capcom.
So yeah, we could be seeing that, and I know Nintendo has spoken out saying that they're willing to license their characters to other developers now as well. Like,
that's a clever move.
Like, I mean, we've got Hyrule Warriors coming, which is the Dynasty Warriors game. Dynasty Warrior developers making a Zelda game.
That sounds a friggin' amazing. I'm sorry, this is the first time hearing of this, and it sounds brilliant.
I'll have to send you a trailer of it afterwards.
I missed this.
So yeah, that's happening. I mean, clearly they're not scared after things like Other M happened.
Well. On the matter of their fiscal announcement, by the way, I mean, and deciding to announce near the end of the fiscal year. Oh, yeah, we didn't expect to sell that many. We were just joking. But that's beside the point.
Yeah. Oh, the Wii U has been such a failure for them.
It really has, and it's surprising because everybody seems so excited about the unique controller.
I mean, and people that have played the system say it's fantastic too. Well, I know Israel is always saying how great of a system it is. It just doesn't have games, and Nintendo's just not, doing the right decisions.
No, they're not. I suppose it comes down to the fact Nintendo, they're always so closed. They're very closed off. They have what they have, and they think that's all they need.
Yep. They're stuck in their old school ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And wouldn't surprise me 2, maybe 3 years from now we get a brand new system from Nintendo.
Well, yeah, but hopefully by then they'll have learned a few new tricks. Maybe. Oh, God, no, I was just about to use a really bad metaphor. Put down their old dog and get a new one. Oh, I feel dirty all of a sudden.
Well then, why don't you move on to our next news?
I think I will. Yes, moving swiftly on. It has been announced now that the new 16 gigabyte OUYA and is being announced at the cost of $129.99. Now the big announcement is that they are releasing a 16 gigabyte version, sort of an upgrade from the 8 gigabyte version, and that it will be this $30 more than the previous iteration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one thing Nintendo can point at and say, look, there's something worse than us.
Yes, very much so. I had such high hopes for this when I first heard about it, but then so much of what I had thought was specs we were being told this is what we're going to have, turned out to just be rumors or ideas, concepts that just never came to fruition.
Shame too, because it was a unique idea for a system.
It really was. It was a clever idea. On the face of it, just didn't come together quite the way, maybe not even the way they expected, but definitely not the way I personally expected at any level.
Alright, so to wrap up our gaming news here, we got some more console rumors. That goes to the Xbox One. It came out this past week that white and diskless Xbox One consoles are rumored, along with a limited edition Titanfall console.
The Titanfall console doesn't surprise me. They do this a lot with the Xbox. Xbox releases when they have a really big title they know is going to do well. They release a console that's geared to it. I mean, I still have and very readily use my Halo Reach Xbox controller, 360 controller. It's the best Xbox 360 controller I've ever owned. So this is something that Xbox do a lot. You know, they have themed hardware. So that's I can only see that going well for them because there is always a market for that.
Yeah, it says here in the article that they're reportedly working on to bring a range of different Xbox One models, including the white employee-only edition, along with a diskless and a 1 terabyte hard drive version, which, granted, with the size of games on next-gen consoles, the 1 terabyte hard drive would make sense. Yeah.
But even regardless of the size of games these days, even so, 1 terabyte, no one's ever going to complain about that. As long as it's got a decent price point that makes sense. I mean, obviously it's going to be up there for that kind of memory storage, but as long as it makes sense for what you're getting, you can't really criticize that.
No, not at all.
There's going to be a lot of hardcore gamers that are going to be very much looking forward to that.
And if they are putting out a diskless version, that might be the cheaper one they've been rumored to have coming out.
See, I get why making a diskless version is clever, because they're trying to push this whole digital download thing. Fair enough. It's the Xbox Live Arcade, or, you know, just all the marketplace and all that kind of thing. You download the game straight onto it, like most people do with Steam these days. But I am one of these really old-fashioned people. I like to have the disc.
Same here.
Yeah, there's just something about knowing you have that physical copy of the disc, just in case. But having said that, I do use Steam a lot, so I'm kind of talking out of my arse. So it's just a really weird sort of personal argument you have to have with yourself, and the diskless thing, when people shove it at me, I just kind of back off.
Yeah, the way I always view it is like, well, if I buy anything on Steam or on PC, I'm buying it at a cheaper price anyway. So
you know you're not getting the disc, but you for that you're getting it less anyway. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair shout.
So yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. I mean, they do have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it's early days for all the new gens. This is what happens, you know. It's inevitable.
Indeed. All right, so it's time to dive into the movie and TV news.
Movie and TV news.
All right.
I love this section.
We've got some good ones this week.
We do. First off, it has been announced that Snow White and the Huntsman's director, Rupert Sanders, is being now attached to the long-awaited live-action Ghost in the Shell movie.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool. I mean, Snow White and the Huntsman, not particularly cool, but Ghost in the Shell, fantastic anime, brilliant anime. I have the 3 animated films sat on my shelf right now. All very good. 3 or 2, whichever. And it's DreamWorks that are taking it on. Steven Spielberg, fantastic. You know, he's the boss of DreamWorks. He makes sure that everything goes well whenever he's got a DreamWorks film going. And Sanders at the helm. I am trepidatious of purely on the matter of Snow White and Huntsman, but he's not bad, so there's hope.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see how a live-action version of that series comes into effect.
Well, yeah, I anticipate it's going to be a little bit like how Death Note went. They had to change a lot because, as with most Japanese animes, and I'm trying not to be insensitive to a whole fan culture here, but Japanese animes, when they come over to the West, there are things that just don't translate.
Yeah,
but work for that market because of who the fans are. So I can see they're going to have to cut bits out like they did when they made the Death Note films, because they knew they were catering them for a Western audience as well, because the anime had already become popular over here. So they're going to be cutting bits out. I anticipate that, but even so, historically they can still make something good even so. So hopefully that will be the case.
Indeed. All right. So next up here on our list. On the last podcast, we announced that Batman versus Superman had been pushed back 10 months. So, when that happened, well, July 17th was kind of free at that point. So,
and it is a very important date to a lot of movie releases.
So Marvel and Edgar Wright were like, mine.
Yeah.
And took it for the new release date of Ant-Man.
Oh, yes, they did.
So now we get Ant-Man 2 weeks sooner, which is a very good thing.
Yeah, it sounds like not much, but it really is. It's 2 weeks less of biting your nails waiting for it.
Which personally is probably my... Well, I mean, Age of Ultron's way up there on the expected list, but
yeah.
As far as the solo heroes films goes, this is probably my most anticipated at the moment.
Just a bit of info for the fans out there, just in case you aren't aware. Our friend Lord X here is a massive fan of Ant-Man.
I am indeed, yes.
He's a good hero. He's one of the underrated heroes.
Very much underrated.
Oh, very much underrated. You mention Ant-Man to people and they look at you like you're crazy. But despite how the name comes across, I can accept, I can understand that for a person who isn't aware. He is so cool! He just is.
And with the film, we're getting 2 Ant-Man, so...
Well, yeah. I was surprised by this, actually. When I first heard Paul Rudd was taking the role, and you may have talked about this on a previous podcast, when I first heard that Paul Rudd was taking the role, I assumed he was going to be Hank Pym. I did not realise they were going the Scott Lang route.
Yeah.
It took me hearing that Michael Douglas had been cast as Ant-Man as well for me to look into it deeper to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm very curious on how they're going to work this.
I don't know, I'm guessing they're going to sort of hope there's an assumption of some events having already happened. Or there'll be a little bit of a short stint at the beginning that explains that, well, given that they've got the freedom to be creative here, they might not even say that Michael Douglas has been Ant-Man. Maybe he's literally just going to be Pym and go from there, I guess.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe they'll do the Watchmen style thing where they have like the little, montage at the beginning showing...
I see what you mean.
They could do that.
Well, yeah, I suppose they've definitely got the freedom for it.
It's
the beauty with comic book films. They've got the freedom to do pretty much anything they want, really.
I mean, this is coming from Edgar Wright, so I'm assuming it's going to be fucking awesome anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Paul Rudd's style of comic delivery plays off of Edgar Wright's style of comic writing. Oh, well, direction, anyway.
Yep. All right, you've got our next batch of news.
Indeed. See, the Dark World, Thor 2, The Dark Worlds. Craig Kyle and Christopher Yost have been brought back on to write Thor 3.
Woo!
Woohoo! Yeah, well, they did very well. They did extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of criticism for Thor 2, and in some areas I can understand it. Christopher Eccleston, the bad guy, was very underused.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people blame that on the overuse of Loki again. But come on, it's Loki. Can you really complain? Everybody loves Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So Craig Cahill and Chris Rios back on to write Thor 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's promising.
Yeah. I think in that article, too, they mentioned that the Russo brothers are most likely coming back for Cap 3.
They did, yes. Where was this? Yeah, there we go. Captain 3 is moving ahead with Winter Soldier directors Anthony and Joe Russo, yes. Mm-hmm. I'd nearly forgotten about that bit.
That shows that Marvel has a lot of faith in those two, given that, well, the Winter Soldier isn't even out yet.
Isn't even out yet. Well, but that's the thing with... I suppose it comes back down to the freedom of Marvel, of comic book films. They can get away with nearly anything. Mm-hmm. They just have to deliver it the right way.
Yep.
And they have a marketing team to figure out how that works. So if that marketing team watches something and sees that it is fantastic and they have an easy job of marketing it, then they know they've got something promising.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I find this a little bit funny, too. It's kind of like the opposite of what happened with Iron Man, where with that series, Jon Favreau did the first two and they got a different guy for the third one. And in this case, they had different people for the first films, but now they have the same, like, people for the second and third films.
It is a very interesting difference. Yeah, you got fair play, but it's... But I guess it's just like a case of knowing when you've got the right person for the job, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not to say that Jon Favreau wasn't the right person for the job in number 3. Jon Favreau is awesome, but yeah, even so.
All right, moving onwards, away from the Marvel news and into our only bit of TV news that's not comic book related. That's Jonathan Banks, who played Mike on Breaking Bad, has joined the Breaking Bad prequel series Better Call Saul.
No, I didn't know this was a thing. Probably because I've never actually watched Breaking Bad either. I knew that was going to be a reaction. No, I have never watched Breaking Bad. It is on my to-watch list. But, you don't always have time to watch everything you mean to watch straight away.
True.
It's not on my to-watch list. It will happen eventually. So I can't really weigh in that much on this chat. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just from... well, personal experience, I'm quite happy with this. Mike on Breaking Bad was a really good character. Bit funny, I guess, in a dark kind of way.
Well, if Jonathan Banks, he's very good at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a very cool character, I'll say that much. So it's exciting to know that he's going to be on Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
All right, you've got our next news.
Up, yeah. I'm going to butcher this person's name, even though it looks like it's spelt so simply.
Don't worry, we all did before.
I'm gonna go with Gal Gadot because it sounds Gadot. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds exactly how it looks from what I've heard. Gadot.
Well, noted. Gal Gadot says she's been signed for 3 Wonder Woman appearances.
Yay.
Yeah, I can understand why that yay was a lot less than your previous yays. Because I'm on the same boat with you there, because there's a thing, it's an old sort of trope or stereotype, I suppose, that action films with a female lead don't do as well. They just don't. It's an unfortunate truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. So, and looking at the article, they say that she's been signed for the Batman-Superman crossover, the Justice League film, which is still in kind of development, and supposedly a Wonder Woman standalone film. Now, if they're released in that order, I can see maybe that they're trying to go slowly into introducing the Wonder Woman standalone action film with a woman lead, and then people will watch it on the basis that they've already seen the Wonder Woman character that they create in the previous 2 films, and hopefully that'll help.
Hopefully, yeah.
Having said that, it should also be noted that this is kind of half real, half rumor, depending on how you look at it. This is something that Gal Gadot has said herself on an Israeli talk show, and if it is true, it's said that maybe she shouldn't have said it, and if it's not true, she shouldn't have said it anyway.
So yeah, it'd be interested to see how. Yeah, I'm still not, sold on her being Wonder Woman as it is.
Yeah, the chest's not big enough, is it? No, sorry, that's a bit harsh.
She's hot, but...
No, to be honest, I can see it. They might need to do a little bit of padding, but... I'm actually being serious here. I'm not being, like, Lech kind of serious, like lecherous. I'm being serious. The Wonder Woman character has a bosom. I'm being halfway serious. They will need to do a little bit of padding.
She also needs to buff up a bit.
Oh, well, yeah, but they have training regimes for that kind of thing, don't they? But I don't think there's a specific exercise that targets your breasts. At least not on a woman, I don't think.
Yeah, I think we better stop this conversation before we get in big trouble.
One more thing I want to say, and we've mentioned this a couple of times, the Batman-Superman thing, and I feel you've probably had your own discussions about this on previous podcasts because the news has been out there for a while, but Ben Affleck! That's all I'm going to say.
Well, Ben Affleck is the least of the worries at the moment.
That is very true, actually.
Because granted, I'm kind of okay with Ben Affleck. I really am.
I'm kind of going back and forth. Because there's time... In the recent films where he's directed them himself, fantastic. Argo, brilliant film. And the one... I forget what the name of the film is, but he plays a guy who impersonates Superman.
Okay.
That was a fantastic film as well. When he is in charge of the film, I don't know, maybe he gives himself an advantage in that he caters the film for the way he acts. But having said that, even with the way he acts, I can see him doing a good Batman, in the sense of if they're going for that sort of detective, flat tone, almost emotionless Batman, like in the old school cartoons, I can see him pulling that off.
Yeah.
But I don't see him as Playboy Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as our last news story here goes, there's more things to be worried about in Batman vs. Superman. Because it was revealed this past week that Lex Luthor has been cast. And who is he? It's Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, the guy who was in the Social Network.
I don't know. See, I first heard this and I thought, no. Just no. But then, I don't know. Of all the other things that could potentially go wrong with the film, this seems like, to me at least, the one that could go least wrong.
You see, I'm not that way. I think this is like the worst well, outside of Gal Gadot, anyway, this is like the worst casting that they've done.
I don't know, because I think I tried to sort of convince stuff. You've watched Smallville.
Yeah.
You liked Smallville?
Yeah.
Did you like Lex Luthor in Smallville?
I did, yes.
Now, you see, what if they're going for the young Lex Luthor?
It's not necessarily what I want to see in the movie, though. It's like, Smallville, it was expected, because basically it was a teen version, anyway, that eventually grew up.
The OC in Smallville.
Yeah, basically. But when it comes to the movie version, you kind of want that, like, dominating presence on screen, and I don't see that from Jesse Eisenberg.
Have you seen the film that he was in recently with the whole the magician thing?
No, I have not.
Now, you see, I hear he did very good in that because he was playing that more badass. Intimidating might be the wrong word, but because I've not seen it yet either, and I really want to.
Okay.
So I wonder if maybe we're being a little bit unfair on the basis we've not seen this film, because apparently in that film he does deliver.
Okay.
I mean, probably not, because it's still Jesse Eisenberg.
I mean, at the end of the day, the movie could turn out to be brilliant with these actors.
We have been proven wrong a lot.
Yep. Very, very true.
Yeah. But speaking of actors that bring intimidation to a villain role, it's also the whole news that they've also got Jeremy Irons playing Alfred.
Yep.
What? I don't...
Yeah, I think it was Angry Joe that put this out at one point. He expects to see Alfred just like bitch slap Batman throughout the film.
I know, I wouldn't be surprised. Because even when he is playing a good guy, he's still an arsehole.
Yeah.
Like in Iragan, he's a good guy, but he's still a dick. and I think in pretty much nearly everything else I've ever seen him in, it's been that case. Bad guy or arsehole.
Asshole Alfred, that'll be a new one.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe he's just having that little screen time that they're literally just going to put in a few very British lines, like, very good, sir, and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all they want. They just want his accent.
Possibly, yeah.
Having said this, the only other alternative is that those two roles are switched, and Jesse Eisenberg's Alfred definitely no. But I can't even see Jeremy Irons as Lex Luthor either.
No.
Because Lex Luthor, bad guy, yeah, but he's not... Lex Luthor's not a creepy bad guy, and Jeremy Irons is creepy.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of people have said before, like, for Lex Luthor, they should have went with Bryan Cranston. Because he can play a badass.
He can. No, yeah, you've got a point. Okay.
Well, you have not watched Breaking Bad yet, so...
That's true, yeah.
That,
he was very good in the remake of Total Recall.
Never saw that.
It was alright.
I know he's in Godzilla this summer, so...
Yes.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, why wouldn't you be? Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so I guess that wraps up our news section. Before we dive into the bin playing, I gotta ask you something. Did you see the Transformers trailer that came out?
The one where supposedly Michael Bay had a bit of a cock-up on stage?
No.
The reveal of it, was it?
The 30-second long Age of Extinction trailer.
No. Well, I'm guessing the question I just asked you a minute ago probably answered that. No, I didn't. Where is it?
It should be on YouTube now.
I'll look it up afterwards. No, I haven't seen it.
No. I was going to go into a little bit of a trailer talk, but I will explain it in one word, or one sentence for you to go watch it. Giant robot riding a giant robot dinosaur while wielding a sword.
Okay.
Optimus Prime is on the back of Grimlock wielding a sword.
You see, the basic inner child nerd of me is currently gasming on that image alone. But that would be like something I expect to see in like a DeviantArt picture or a fanfic. In an actual Hollywood big name release film, kind of seems a bit much. And I'm saying kind of seems a bit much of a film that Michael Bay is doing. What the fuck does that say? Was there an explosion in the background?
Oh, there were plenty of explosions.
Yeah, why did I even ask the question? I could have just assumed.
Just to give you a heads up, here's a picture.
Nope.
Just so you can take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're going to put this up on the thingy as well. There's a picture. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Actually, I have to say that does really look very, very badass. It looks incredibly badass, but I don't know if that should be in the film. Anywhere else, that's fine. But in the film?
just consider one other thing too. You know how big Optimus is in the film.
Yeah.
Right?
That had occurred to me. Okay. I'm going to close that window now. That is mind blown and not in a good way. Halfway. I don't know.
Alright, so let's dive into the been playing, been watching, and haven't been reading anything section. Alright, so been playing, I'll kick this off, I guess. Brief mention here. I've been playing a bit of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale on the Vita.
On the Vita?
Yeah, because the Vita version came free with the actual physical copy.
So, that's cool.
Yeah, I've got a 32 gigabyte memory card, so I finally got around to downloading that onto my Vita.
Very swish. Now, I've only seen videos of this game, but it doesn't look very, very, very good.
It is fun. It's very much fun, especially with other people.
Well, it's basically like Sony's version of Super Smash Bros.
Yep.
It's always promising.
Mm-hmm. And the Vita version has a separate trophy list, so I'm working towards another platinum.
Nice. See, someone's going to look at your platinum trophy list one day, and they're going to see the same title twice. And
they can already do that with The Walking Dead, because I did that.
That's true. Fair shout.
So yeah, I've been playing a bit of that. Fun, going through a bit of the story modes, working on trophies, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the game you've been playing?
The only games I really play these days are my Let's Plays. So if you've come from my channel, then you already know. But for those who haven't, currently playing Skyrim over again.
Nice.
Which is fun. You know, you can't complain with Skyrim.
No, you really can't.
Can't, no. I mean, it's been out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't age the same as so many other games.
No, especially since you can modify it up the yin-yang to how
Now, you see, that was my original intention.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually playing it on Xbox. Because the mods, I had installed a bunch of mods, tested everything out, everything was perfectly fine. The very next day, I sit down to do a Let's Play in it, and there'd been an update of the Skyrim program itself, and then none of the mods worked anymore.
Oh.
Not a single one of them. So it kind of was like to a point where the only reason I was going to play it on my laptop in particular was because I could have the mods.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in playing it with reduced graphics when there's no mods to make up for it. So I just defaulted back to the Xbox version.
Another game that I've been playing this week has been WWE 2K14. Still, well, I finished up the 30 years of WrestleMania mode, got that done and out of the way.
It didn't actually take you 30 years, did it?
No.
That was the dumbest question. Sorry.
That mode was great, though. Really nice.
A million things, yeah.
Yeah, they included a lot of, video clips from, every WrestleMania, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been basically working towards some of the trophies in that as well. Yeah, that's about it. I do have plans for that game once I get a capture card, though, I will say that much.
Yeah. Well, on the matter of trophies, I'm not particularly a trophy hunter, especially not to your caliber. Holy. But I have been working towards tiny brown trophies.
That sounded so wrong in one.
Really did. And I did say brown, not bronze. Because on my channel I'm also playing Outlast at the minute, and yo man, it's an experience, and it's kind of simultaneously a good experience and a bad experience. It is scary as all hell. Scary as all hell. It's not even like it relies on just one kind of scare. Like, you get a lot of games that are just jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of games that are just creepy scares, chills. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of games that are literally just like ambient scares, where it's literally just to get you worked up on purely the music going on in the background, and then nothing actually really happens. Mm-hmm. And the whole aim of the game, there's a lot of this going on the Oculus Rift where they do that, but I think it's because it's still a new thing and they're just playing with new ways of doing things. Mm-hmm. The music is what gets you, and that's it. and it just leaves you feel creeped out afterwards. But Outlast does all of them. All of them. On depending on the day this video actually goes up, the Tuesday episode, Tuesday the 4th, which is when we're recording this, Tuesday the 4th episode that I put up for Outlast had one little 30-second pocket where all 3 of them happened to me, and I stained my grundies, figuratively speaking.
Oh, I look forward to watching that then.
Man alive. You have any more?
Well, I'll briefly mention that last week I did pick up a new phone. My very first smartphone, to be in fact. And with that, I've actually dived into the realm of mobile gaming a little bit. And speaking from somebody who just now owns a smartphone and just now has, tried these things, shit is weird.
It really is, isn't it? But I'm also talking from the perspective of someone who doesn't have a smartphone. At best, my phone is above average.
Yeah, so I've been playing things like Temple Run 2, which is a bit addicting, I'll be honest. I started listening to the patch last week, and it was like, you know what, I'll play a little Temple Run while I'm listening to this, maybe 10, 20 minutes. Before I knew it, the podcast was over, and I was still playing. It's like, what the fuck happened? But outside of that, we all love the Humble Bundles. And with that, there were a couple of Android bundles in the past, so...
Ooh. Oh, yeah, of course. No, yeah, I've noticed this. I've felt so left out.
So I, went and downloaded the Humble Bundle app, and I have downloaded those games. So I have been playing things such as Stealth Bastard Deluxe on my phone, as well as Cannonbolt HD, and most importantly, a series that I have actually done on YouTube beforehand, The Oregon Trail Director's Cut.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been playing that on my phone, which is
Now that would be something to play on the bus going to work.
Yeah, I've been diving into it on my breaks at work, actually. It's like, okay, let's see how far I can get while in this 20-minute break.
Yeah.
It actually works quite well, too, on the phone.
I'm thinking that. It must do, yeah. It's brilliant.
Unlike Stealth Bastard Deluxe, which it's been very awkward to use touch controls for that.
Is it one of those cases where the screen's just that bit too small for all the stuff that's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I get that a lot when I borrow my buddy's iPhone if I'm bored. If we're out somewhere on the bus going somewhere, I'll borrow my buddy's iPhone. And some games you just well, that's not what I meant to press. Nope. How the hell did I get a keyboard up?
Yeah, it feels like I need a controller for that game. Whereas other things like Angry Birds Star Wars 2 is just natural.
Oh well, yeah. Be surprised if it wasn't. It's pretty much what the Angry Birds series is born on.
So yeah, that's basically ends what I've been playing.
Yeah.
Don't think I've been playing anything else. A bit of Final Fantasy 9 here and there before I've gone to bed on my Vita. Since now on my Vita I actually have Final Fantasy 1 through 9 on my system.
You lucky duck.
I was so happy when Square put that sale on this week. I was like, yes, now I can get Origins 3 and 4 on there.
Very cool.
What about yourself?
Well, to round up my playing, as I mentioned, I pretty much these days around work and college, I only ever have time to play the games that I'm gonna put up online. So just to round off my thing, I've mentioned it before in podcasts from a long time ago. I have my Walking Dead Thursdays. It's actually one of my most popular series, despite it only being a one video a week kind of deal. But I've now evolved that into Telltale Thursdays because I'm now also playing The Wolf Among Us. 2 very fantastic games. Obviously, Walking Dead Episode 1 was just immense, just incredible. Walking Dead Episode 2 is promising to be just as good, if not better. You are playing Clementine, you automatic win. And Wolf Among Us, just fantastic topic, fantastic lore, and thing and media to draw from already, and they've done very well putting together that game.
And think of what Telltale has coming too.
I know, yeah, the Borderlands one. That's I'm obviously jumping on that one. People who are watching Borderlands 2 series, they know I've got a kind of up-down relationship with with that world. But I am looking forward to Telltale's approach to it.
And Game of Thrones as well eventually.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
In which case, everybody's gonna die.
Probably. And I bet you still get to choose which one.
Yeah. And the other one just dies anyway.
Yeah. Okay, you choose which one dies first.
Yeah.
Or worst, maybe.
At the end of that, it'll just be a picture of George R.R. Martin laughing at you.
Probably. It's like Telltale's signature thing at the beginning. This game evolves to your choices. At the end, you just got George R.R. Martin saying, "I write it the way I want to write it. I think you want this person to... I killed him!" Sorry.
Oh, you like this person? Die!
Exactly. It's a running joke with that guy.
Yeah. Alright, so our bin watching section. A bit on this one because of 2 weeks for myself. I'll kick things off here with the Wolverine Unleashed Extended Edition. Finally got around to watching that. Yeah, the Extended Edition made the film even more better.
Even more better, fantastic.
Yeah.
I see. I've had the DVD sat on my pile of to watch for a long while now. I've just not got around to watching it. Timing's just wrong, man. But I'm so looking forward to picking it up.
Yeah, the Extended Edition. There's a reason it's unrated, unrated for that matter.
So I've heard.
Yeah, there's a bit more blood into it, and Combine Harvester. That's all I'll mention.
Okay. All right then. Okay. And that's...
well, I've got a few more things. You want me to run through my full list first?
Yeah, because your full list is going to be longer than my full list, because my full list amounts to 0.
Fair enough.
Unless you include YouTube videos, which I don't think most people generally do.
You can.
Well, I suppose. Well, okay, right. This is going to pale in comparison, man. You just watched Wolverine Unleashed Extended Edition. I've been watching Captain Sparkle's Minecraft series. Ultra modded. I mean, it's brilliant, but it doesn't quite compare.
That's one YouTuber I've not gotten into.
I kind of stumbled upon him by accident, maybe just less than a year ago, when I really first started to play Minecraft myself.
Okay.
And yeah, I just kind of latched to him. He's so popular, but when you compare him to other people that are popular, you do kind of half question how. Because he comes... I'm not trying to do the guy a disservice. He's great. His Minecraft series are always really fun because he puts shit tons of mods on.
Yeah.
But he as an individual just comes across as so normal. Like, he's got no specific quirk. Like Toby Turner has his quirks that stand out, you know? And, you know, the other people as well. But Captain Sparkles, he just comes across as such a normal person. And maybe that's it, because he seems so approachable. Like, maybe, I don't know.
Right on. Well, the next thing for me is Arrow, which continues in its second season to get more badass than ever. That it is just fantastic, and I would highly recommend it to anybody. I mean, DC has, well, they're nowhere near movie quality at the moment, but their TV shows have been really kicking ass right now.
I feel like, yeah, you've touched on something there that I feel like should be what should be done. DC are better with their TV shows. They should stick to what they know.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's admirable that they want to branch out, but because Marvel, with the exception of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's recent.
Yeah.
I can't think of a specific TV show they've done which has been top A-list kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not the same as DC have, anyway.
Yeah, Maybe once, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones rolls around.
Well, I think, aren't they supposed to be Netflix only?
Yep.
Yeah, so can you... Rooster Teeth had the same argument recently. Can you count that as TV?
True.
More like online media, isn't it?
True.
It's still a TV show, though, so I don't know. I mean, that's an argument people are going to have to come to a conclusion in eventually, but it's not going to be us.
No. Yeah, well, the last thing I'll mention that I watched this week, running from January 30th, I believe, to February 6th here, the local theater, and, well, all across Canada, Cineplex, have been running something called the Great Digital Film Festival, where they've been taking...
Just sounds amazing.
Oh, and it is. Where they've taken movies from the past and replaying them, upgraded, like enhanced, basically, on the big screen. And they've been doing everything from old superhero movies, like this past Saturday was just filled with superhero movies. Friday was filled with, like, a bunch of old 80s movies like Tron and The Holy Grail and whatnot. And, yeah, they've just been playing a lot of old ones. I think Logan's Run is playing tonight.
I said this to you before we started recording. I am living in the wrong country. Because things like that just don't happen here.
They usually don't here either, so I'm surprised as fuck.
Hey, it's happening more often over there than it is here, so still.
And tickets were cheap too. It's like $6 a movie.
Ah, man.
So, from my own experience so far, I might be checking it a few more on Thursday, specifically Akira and Ghost in the Shell, if possible.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell, man. You will enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Akira as well, obviously.
Yeah. But from what I have seen have been The Avengers, because I could not pass up another opportunity to go see that in theaters.
Of course not.
Viewing number 7 for me.
Fantastic.
That's theater alone, anyway.
Yeah, so that I guessed.
And today I saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I still would want to see that on the big screen.
Yeah, oh, it was so fantastic. A shame, too, because there was only 9 of us in the theater watching it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know, right? It was a noon showing. I guess that's why.
Maybe.
But, yeah, when I went into the theater, it was only 2 other people. There was 3 of us. And they've been doing trivia before each movie. And Guy came in and just saw 3 of us. And he was like, well, I'm here to do trivia.
Hey, if there's people there to do it, they do it.
Yeah. Well, when I saw The Avengers, I actually won, as I told you before the show.
Yeah.
So that was
hey, it was a good question, though, that.
Yeah. Marvel knowledge finally came in handy.
You know? Well, actually, with the whole thing, pub quizzes over here, not sure if they're as prevalent over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. They should be. Pub quizzes over here, with the whole advent of superhero movies and everything, obviously comic books have come back to the fore in the media as being popular again.
Yeah.
Outwardly, openly popular, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, Marvel knowledge comes into so much use. I've won so many free booze tickets. Redeemable only in pub. But still.
And finally, the last movie that I saw, the 25th anniversary of this movie, which is amazing. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Absolutely. Definitely excellent.
Yep.
Do we have any more recent news on them making another one?
There's been rumors. They said the script is done, apparently.
I know, you see, when I first heard, I was like, yeah, but the more I've had the idea milling in my head, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I just want to see it.
It doesn't matter if it's horrible.
It doesn't need to be good. Just give it to me.
Get Keanu Reeves with a bit of emotion back into him again.
Yeah. That's probably the most animated he's been in any film he's done, really.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's unfair or just accurate.
Probably accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole digital film festival has been just amazing. I wished I had more days off work just so I could go see more of the movies.
Don't blame you. I really don't blame you.
So, you got anything else to wrap things up?
No, that's pretty much it. Just usual YouTube videos, Captain Sparkles, and the usual, like all the Let's Play stuff, Rooster Teeth, podcasts. You mentioned the patch already.
Yep.
That's pretty much it, really. It's like around work, around college.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my time is spent online, playing my own games, watching what other people do on YouTube, because YouTube's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when it wants to be.
When it wants to be, yeah. I was just going to say there's been turmoil, there's been upheaval, especially recently, all this kind of thing, but even so, it is still just this unique forum, so. Yeah. So even so, there's fantastic creators out there. Mm-hmm. And so when I do have time around work, college, whatever, to watch something, I want to watch what people are doing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Which is what I default to. Because, you're always going to find something you're going to enjoy, and it's always something different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no, I don't really watch much TV or movies recently.
Oh, I will mention one other thing that I've been watching. I have almost caught up with Doctor Who.
Oh, good lad.
I am on the second half of season 7 now.
See, yeah, I lost track a little while ago because of work, but then caught up because I found a guy that was streaming it, probably not entirely legally, on a website. So I've caught up, and then I watched the specials. And have you watched where are you up to again?
I am at the second half of season 2. Season 7, sorry.
I was going to say, second half of 7.
Backwards.
The
last episode I watched was the 2012 Christmas special, The Snowman. Yeah.
It was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was definitely good. So
attractive girl.
Well, granted, technically I'm a bit further ahead because I did see Day of the Doctor.
Yeah, but that's one of those things you can't not, can you?
Yeah,
really?
And besides,
whether you've seen the episodes leading up to.
Plus, I had tickets to see it in theater, so.
Oh well, yeah, there you go.
Doctor Who in 3D, it was amazing. Which I know you're not a 3D person anyway because you can't see it.
But yeah, by no choice of my own. Although to be fair, from what I've heard, well, you like it obviously, so this is a matter of opinion. Mm-hmm. But from what I've heard from people closest, people I hang around with over here, maybe it's just done differently in England. I don't know. But 3D is not all it's cracked up to be.
It really isn't. When it works, like certain things.
But when it doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that. I'm almost caught up with that now, and I'll probably be starting Hannibal soon.
I've heard that's very good, and it does have Lashifa in it. So.
Yep. All right. So nothing in the bin reading section.
No, absolutely nothing. Yeah. Unless you want to hear about my textbooks. But having said that, that's not really a case of reading so much as, if anybody doesn't know, I'm learning sign language. It's mostly diagrams. So technically not been reading as such as been looking.
Fair enough. All right, so with that, I guess we should just jump into the shameless self-promotion section. Which it's been a while. So Jester, tell the people what you've been doing.
Well, as I said already in the Been Playing section, all the games I mentioned are the ones I'm playing for my YouTube channel because they're the only games I can play. So you got my Outlast, where I'm shitting myself, and seriously, when I edit my videos back, I don't always watch the whole thing. I just go to key points to make sure everything lines up and everything's good and where I know something needs to be cut out kind of thing. Because I'll film and then edit immediately.
Yeah, I do the same.
But Outlast, I actually watched myself back because... it was probably very much a self-esteem thing. I wanted to make sure I didn't look like too much of a plebeian. But it was, I'm trying to say this without being big-headed. It was so entertaining just to watch myself. Said it once already, I'm going to say it again, stain my grundies. So yeah, Outlast, it's going to be a good series. It really is, believe me. Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead Episode 2, fantastic games. Telltale are just very... very quickly catching up with Naughty Dog as one of my favourite developers. And obviously I'm playing Skyrim as well. That's also another series I'm doing on my channel. But beyond that, I also, if people will remember, because I did this before I even started doing my Let's Plays on my channel, when I first started doing the podcast with you, I hadn't started my YouTube channel properly yet. I was only doing the writing over on JesterConceptions.blogspot.co.uk. That is going above and beyond in my... No, that sounds really big-headed. What I mean is that the story is really sort of evolving. Like it's been kind of a prequel-ish kind of thing to people who already know the character from other places I've been.
Mm-hmm.
But it's now getting to a point now where things are brand new and just becoming more bold in that I'm not constricted by certain things. So I'm having a lot of fun writing my Blaze story, and you want to go read that? JesterConceptions.blogspot.co.uk.
Awesome. And I want to point out one other thing that you did too on the court a couple weeks ago. That little short film.
Oh, yeah. God, I forgot about that. A couple of weeks ago. The court that I do on a Sunday, it's kind of, I suppose you could call it a vlog, in a sense. But I interrupted the usual pattern of the way I do it to make a little bit of a short video because I've been challenged to do something by, we've mentioned him once already, Dr. Lech. He challenged me to write a creepypasta, and I decided to make a video instead because the idea just came to me. And that was a lot of fun to make.
It was really good.
Yeah. I filmed the pieces of it and then was sat in front of my computer and honestly thought to myself, I have a basic, at best, editing suite here. And I'm not great at using it. So what can I do here? And I was pleased with what I ended up coming out with the fact that I'm an amateur in mind. So yeah,
it was brilliant how well you edited that.
I think you're just pandering my ego, but thank you.
You're welcome. Just in regards to myself, the usual videos going up, Minecraft on Mondays, when I get around to it again, Guacamelee and Dust and Elysian Tale going up on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Dust is a good game, very pretty.
Oh, so nice. It's amazing one guy did everything in that game.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
Then on Fridays, there's Ride to Hell Retribution.
I still do not understand why you're playing that game, man.
Somebody needs
It's frustrating just to watch.
And yet, it's probably one of my best viewed series.
Well, yeah, actually.
Just because I think people like watching me suffer at this point.
Yeah. Actually, there's a thought. Maybe I'm looking at it thinking... Sometimes when I watch your Let's Plays, I'm kind of like looking at it and thinking, what this is going to sound really bad. What can I take from that and put in my own? Not in the sense of stealing, but taking advice from a sage, more experienced individual. And I just watched that one, and maybe I am watching it with the fact that I am also an LPer in mind, and that's why I'm getting frustrated rather than just amused. So I'm getting frustrated for you because I understand what it feels like.
Yeah, I think Aussie Legend's comment on the last episode was good, which made me chuckle. It's like, you're doing God's work.
Yeah. That was good. That was clever.
Let's see what else. On Saturdays, I do Let's Experience, where I dive into a game for the very first time. This past week, I did They Bleed Pixels for the first time. I'd say I'm really impressed by that game. Really?
It is a very good game, yeah. I've played, when I first downloaded it, I played bits and pieces of it. Not yet played a Let's Play of it. At this point, it's probably been so long now that I might skip that one. But it is a very good game, even so.
Oh, it's unique, I'll give it that. I'll probably finish it up later on. Maybe a Let's Play series.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I have a soft spot for the whole Lovecraftian mood of things, though. If even a hint of Eldritch, and I'm there.
And last but not least, over the past couple weeks now, I have actually been doing my own vlog sort of deal.
You have?
Yeah, finally.
You have, man. I am so proud of you. That sounds wrong because you've been doing this a lot longer than me. The whole YouTube thing. But I'm so glad you joined the putting your face kind of on camera.
Well, you see, when I first thought of it, I was like, well, I need to do a different kind of spin on this. Yeah. Plus, just, I don't know, I just want to keep my face hidden, I guess, so...
Yeah, I can when I first saw the videos, I first saw that you were going to start wearing a mask, I will admit my initial thought was, pussy. But then I really thought about it, and I have to respect a desire for anonymity, especially on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I show my face, but I'm very careful about protecting certain details about my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like my real name, with the exception of my surname, the CARR in the JesterCarr 13. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can guess that's my surname, but nobody knows my first name. At least I don't think they do. I may have let it slip at some point, maybe, when I'm chastising myself during a game. No? But I'm very careful about, revealing personal details. So I can understand wanting to wear the mask to protect your face. But also, I also thought it is a very good gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I've been putting up, well, unlike yourself who does one every week, I usually stick them up randomly if I have something to talk about or...
It's a much better idea. Actually, setting yourself up for a concrete release is just stressful.
So briefly thus far I've done just one asking for a name, which of course I went with my own suggestion anyway.
Hey, it's what happens.
Yeah, true. The X Zone for people.
Yeah, it's a good name, that.
Yeah, it worked. It was simple but effective.
Mm.
Yeah, I did one talking about the Royal Rumble. I did one on my 1000th video. Thank you. Even though it's not really that much of a milestone, it's just I have put that much garbage up onto YouTube now.
Don't say garbage. Didn't you do not say you've put that much garbage on the internet. It's more you've put that much effort into your craft.
True. I put up a pickups video tonight, my January pickups, and the one I'm probably most proud of, titled Zack Snyder Need Your Help.
Oh, yeah.
Which was basically a spin on a rant video about the recent casting of Jesse Eisenberg and Jeremy Irons.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to. That's on my to-watch list. I'm yet to catch up with my YouTube watchings, but that's still on my list. Mm-hmm. So I will catch that. Do not. I wish I'd watched it before we started recording. Now, actually, now I say that.
So that's basically it for my channel, and people can expect the same thing coming up in the weeks to come.
Oh, also don't forget to plug your Twitch channel as well.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I don't usually plug that. Twitch.com/the_LordX, where I sometimes randomly stream games when I, turn on my PS4, which hasn't been much recently.
Well, like we said before, it's early days yet. Things will pick up.
Exactly. I'll probably do some more Don't Starve or Outlast soon.
Outlast. Seriously, do Outlast. I want to see Outlast on Twitch. Because you will be twitching.
Oh, I'm sure I will be. Anyways, I do believe that's going to do it for the show this week.
Indeed.
And remember, guys, questions and comments for future podcasts. Ask us anything, comment on any of the stories we've done. So yeah, and remember, if you ask a question or leave a comment, you can win a free game.
Oh, do we still do that?
We still do that. I still have it.
I have some codes I can pass off on you then, actually. I'll look into that.
Yeah, you should. Hell, you've missed the show since episode 10. You could have been commenting and questioning and winning games. Oh, God, yeah, that's a good point. I suppose if I'd ever really given it a serious thought, I probably would have talked myself out of it anyway. It's not fair. I kind of helped. I was going to say I helped create the thing. I have to admit, this is completely your baby. I just kind of... Hey, without you, there probably wouldn't be a podcast.
It might not be a name. I think the name was, you had a few options and I picked that one out of the selection, did I? I think
you came up with it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing myself a service there. Sweet. I came up with it. Sweet. I didn't even realise.
So yeah, questions and comments, guys. Leave those. Win a free game.
Indeed.
And before we exit out here, just want to say to everybody that has been watching since day one, thank you so very much. 1 year down and hopefully many more to come.
Indeed.
And Jester, you haven't been here for a while, so why don't you take us out this week?
Well, as always, kidders, thank you very much for watching. I have been JesterCarr 13. He has been...
the Lord X.
And we will see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.